Hey everybody, this is Dan, and I'm going to attempt to make this video kind of short and sweet. But it is on Evil Dead 2013, the remake of the original starring Bruce Campbell. And this one stars a whole bunch of, kids who are really kind of not famous for anything else. But anyway, it's a really good remake, for what it is. I mean, granted, it tries to throw in a little bit too much like backstory, like that's totally unnecessary. Very beginning, there's this girl walking through, running through the woods, and it seems like she's running away from someone, and turns out she is, and they capture her, but you assume that the people who are capturing her are the bad guys, but of course it turns out that she's actually, possessed by a deadite, and she is a deadite. She's possessed by a demon, and they end up burning her, and then her father blows her brains out with a shotgun. Just her whole head goes flying off, and then the opening credits begin. Now, this ends up finding us with 5 friends, 2 of whom, David and Mia, are brother and sister, and their dog, Grandpa, all going out to a cabin in the woods that is apparently actually owned by Mia and David's family. So it's not just some mysterious, cabin out in the woods this time around. And Mia is a heroin addict, and she throws all of her stuff in the well and promises to never do it again. So basically, they're just trying to keep her there and watch her for quitting heroin cold turkey without the aid of anything else. Well, it's already going bad to begin with, but then one of the guys, who's kind of taking the place of Scott, essentially, from the original in this one, Eric, finds the Naturandamento in the cellar, and of course brings it up. And this one even has warnings all over it. Don't read from this book. Don't even think about anything in this book, et cetera, et cetera, so on and so forth. And of course, despite that, he does it anyway. Now, these deadites in this one are very into self-mutilation and everything. I mean, if you've ever read the New Jedi Order series of novels from the old Star Wars Expanded Universe, they really kind of remind me a lot of the Yuuzhan Vong, how they're always, cutting themselves and just weird things. I mean, Mia is the first one to get possessed, because she obviously has the weakest will, I guess, out of all of them, so it just made sense. And she ends up, she slices her tongue in half with a frickin' box cutter, just, this way. She boils her flesh in scalding hot water in a shower, and just really brutal, violent, gory stuff. Later on, one of the other friends, Olivia, who's at least practicing to be a nurse, or she is an RN, so I don't quite remember, but she ends up getting possessed and going in and taking the shattered mirror and just taking a piece of it and cutting part of her own face off, like she's trying to get rid of her own jaw, and then stabs Eric, and just horrible things happen. There's a take on Bruce Campbell sawing off his own hand with a chainsaw when one of the girls gets bitten in the hand by Mia when she's down in the cellar, and ends up going up into the kitchen and cutting off her hand with one of those, not just her hand, but most of her arm, with one of those electric knife things that you would use to cut turkey and whatnot. She ends up just shooting nails into her face with a nail gun. And then, of course, shooting nails out of the nail gun at other people, which obviously is a thing that doesn't actually happen anyway. You cannot, and I mean, anybody who's used a nail gun knows that you can't just pick up a nail gun and start shooting nails out of it. There's a safety where you actually have to press it into something before you shoot nails out of it. You can't just go shooting it willy-nilly unless you push the safety catch back. But regardless, it happens in the movie, and it's a movie, but much gorier than the original. And as far as the makeup effects and just various things like that, I would definitely have to give the prize to this one over the original. However, the original still is a cult classic, and you cannot beat it. You can't beat Ash. Great. Mia ends up taking the place of Ash at the end. She ends up being the hero because apparently one of the 3 ways that you can get rid of a Deadite now is by either, obviously there's the dismemberment, there's setting them on fire, and then there is live burial. So her brother buries her alive, and she dies, and then once everything is clear, he digs her back up real quick and resuscitates her. Only to then end up, getting killed by Eric's reanimated zombie-like Deadite corpse. But, yeah, she ends up getting her hand stuck underneath a Jeep and has to literally just pull and wrench herself out of it. Just severing her hand in the process just by pulling herself away. It's really, really graphic and hideous. Has a chainsaw, shoves her hand into the the handle for the chainsaw so that she can steady it while she just shoves it through the main enemy, who is just basically a mirrored demon version of herself, shoving it through her face and just slicing her in half. I mean, it's very, very brutal, very gory, very just horrific, and just an all-around maniacal, twisted, insane, awesome remake. Even if you have seen the other ones and you love them and everything, there's no way that you could watch this one without, just thinking, oh man, this is amazing, and not even caring that, it's a remake of a film that you have loved, for the majority of your life or whatever. But anyway, that's all I got on this one. Great movie. Highly recommend watching it. I know a lot of people, especially my age and whatnot, aren't really into the remake thing of, old films that we've seen, but this really does the original justice, and I was very happy with it. Okay, so that's all I got for today. And of course, tomorrow we are going to begin talking about the trilogy that is not a trilogy. So stay tuned for that, and see you tomorrow.